welcome back to the morning show right here on the Rise New channel. Gtext Holdings, a global real estate firm with several subsidiaries, continues to expand its horizon in pursuance of its U.S. vision. The company recently acquired a $1.6 billion complex to be dedicated this coming month with $200 million property portfolio drive in the next 24 months. In doing this, the company has successfully cemented their place as a pace setter in Nigerian global real estate market. So joining us from Texas is the head and founder, Dr. Akintayo. Gtext Holdings will be speaking to us on the latest acquisition and what this means for business. I'll just come to you. Congratulations on the latest acquisition. Again, but this be interpreted as the company's exodus to greener pastures, or are you joining the Japa and the Japa drive and the movement out of Nigeria? Is that what you're joining?
Well, by the way, it's good to see you again. Good morning from here. The argument for me has always been the need for us to expand globally. I've seen, you've seen companies start from here in the US, come to Nigeria, expand, and they're able to repatriate their profit back to the US. You've seen Chinese firms do it. You've seen a lot of different people do it. We've also seen that same movement happening with our Afrobeat. We're seeing that also even with our music. It's time to do the same with our business. We need to have African homegrown businesses expand globally. And I think that's when we will start changing the perception of people about Nigerians, right? Because most people will never visit Nigeria. But when they begin to deal with Nigerians in foreign countries and they have integrity and they have smooth transaction, they begin to change their perspective about who we are as a people. And that's what we're really doing.
All right. Good morning and great to see you too. Gtext Holdings has managed to survive the teething years and even grown in leaps and bounds since then. I just want to share with us some of the things that you have done, to ensure to see the success of Gtext Holdings.
Well, for us, over the years, I think number one there is transparency. I tell people that you can't claim to have integrity without being transparent. It's always important because things will not always go, the way you've planned. You're not God. But when they don't go the way you planned, you have to communicate it to your stakeholders. You have to help them understand what's going on. Even this media chat, for example, is an example of that. You have to let people know this is what we're doing, this is where we are at certain points, this is what we're trying to do. And I think that's been one of the major pillars that has helped us as well. Of course, we've always tried to also be unique. What is unique that we're offering the market? And each time we've always had to evolve that. At this moment, we realize a lot of Nigerians are japaing, as you earlier mentioned, as Rufais mentioned. Now, how do we move with them? How do we make sure they're able to acquire assets as they move? We understand the uniqueness and the cultural aspect of who we are as a people. For example, Nigerians would rather want to buy something in their name or pay all at once, or just have a 1 year, 2 year payment. A 30-year mortgage, it's been difficult for a lot of Africans in diaspora to be able to consistently pay a mortgage for 30 years. So one of the things we're doing now, we just launched a 99-acre estate where people can now buy one, though we're selling only 1 acre. And I think it's the first offering in land banking aspect of our business where you can buy 1 acre now in your name. So we're constantly asking ourselves, what can we do that is unique that nobody else is offering? We're the first among Nigerian developers to come here in the US and begin to sell land in acres, and very soon on as well, the developments we're doing also start selling houses. But we understand the uniqueness of our people. We understand that some of them may not have good credit, but they may have the cash because they're having to partner with family members. So we're able to have that unique soft landing for them. While, of course, we're open to investors all over the world. So in the US, we're selling to everybody, but we're also conscious that those who are coming from our background, we can be flexible with them.
Okay, let me ask you, is there a place for local investors, Nigerians, who are already very familiar with Gtext Holdings in this growth setting, as the purchasing power of the people continues to dwindle day by day, given the economic instability that people at home face?
Very good question, sir. Good to see you again. I think for me is we are conscious of that. In fact, we reach out to those who have invested with us in Nigeria and in Dubai to say, hey, it's time to diversify, right? And that's what we are also doing. There's nothing wrong with having investment back in Nigeria, having investment in Dubai, having investment in UK, and choosing to also still have investment here in the US. The truth is that, you and I know that the constant change in life, is change. The constant thing in life is change. Things don't always go the way you plan. We've seen how the economy has been messing up globally. Even the US economy right now, we're having the highest interest rate in a long time in the US here as well. But this is the best time to buy. My argument is that you always go the opposite direction. When the economy is bad, that's the time to buy. Why? Because the seller is willing to sell to you at a much cheaper price. Right now, some of the acquisitions we're doing here, we're getting some $100,000 discount. Some we're getting $1 million discount as a new investment we're about closing, up to $1 million from the initial amount they wanted, that they are discounting for us because the interest rate is high. Not everybody is buying at this moment. And when the economy goes good and the interest rate comes down, we're able to sell at a premium price because that time you now have bidding war. Everybody wants to buy. Everybody has the funding to buy. So we must learn to diversify, and that's what we're telling our investors. But yes, whether you're in Nigeria, whether you are in Ghana, whether you are in UK, you can invest here in the US, and we've made structures available to be able to consider your unique needs, the fact that you may not have social security. Yes, you can still invest, and it can be your name, and you can sell at any time you want to sell as well.
Right. So is this your first fiscal office in America? Why Texas? And, let's talk about Texas and this being your first fiscal office in America.
So it's not our first fiscal office, but it's the first that we're buying, right? So typically you lease an office and things like that. But this one, we own it, and we went at a rate of $1.6 million. So I think the essence of things like this, that it gives comfort to investors to know we're on ground, right? So, because I've heard a few people wonder, are you sure these people are on ground here in the US, or before you know it, they've japada, like we always say. So things like this help investors to know we're on ground, we're here to stay. Of course, your second question is why Texas? Texas is unique. Texas still has more land. Look at the picture on the screen now, is the 99 acres we're selling now. You don't find large portion like this. We're about closing another 2,000 acres close to Dallas, Texas. So there's so much land still in Texas. In fact, Texas is almost the size of Nigeria. You just need to remove one state, right? So it's huge. Number two, the tax are reasonable. Sometimes I hear people just say, oh, why not come to California? Why not come to New York? And I'm saying, it's because sometimes we don't research, where we are investing. That's why I've always argued, always get the knowledge of an investment before the investment itself. The taxes in some of these states are extremely high, and it will not help you to maximize the return on your investment. So the taxes is one of it. Another reason is because all the big giants are moving to Texas. Tesla board has approved. They're fully moving all of their businesses now to Texas. There's several companies as well moving to Texas. We also have the World Cup, Texas, Houston is also a major host of that. So there's a whole lot wrapped around good returns as it relates to Texas. And so for now, we're focused in Texas, and later we'll expand to Florida, but those are the 2 states in the US that we know are very friendly towards such investment.
All right. One of the major qualities the organization has been noted for is its youthful staff. Do you intend to continue this trend with your US office?
Very good question. The answer is yes. However, we want to diversify. So, and it's good to be transparent about things like this. So, for example, we're looking for a CEO here in the US, and we don't want a Nigerian or a Black person. I'm Black already. I'm the stakeholder. We have a lot of our team members who are also from African background. We want to make sure that we have a well integrated team. We have a diverse culture. Blacks are a minority in America. And we want to have investors, white, Black, Hispanic, Asian, and it's important to integrate. We made that mistake when we moved to Dubai, where the head was from Nigeria. And before you know it, they categorize us as a Nigerian company in Dubai. So only Nigerians were patronizing at some point. Of course, it was when the visa ban came. Now we're rushing to kind of diversify the employee strength and all of that. So we don't make the same mistake here. But yes, we're working on, recruiting young people. We're open. We're looking for a new CEO. We're recruiting, different people. But we're integrating. It's a global business. People are welcome to work with us from any part of the world. We're not trying to start another Nigerian in Texas. It's a global business.
Yeah, Texas, well, large population, about 30 million, second largest state in the United States. So it's a big market. And I hear the weather is good for the benefit of Nigerians who may want to go there. But in terms of expansion, will you still be maintaining a homegrown Nigerian, business office, or are you going to recruit from other nationalities?
Exactly. I think I've just answered that. Yes, we're going to be recruiting from other nationalities. We're trying to make sure we're very diverse as much as we can. I've argued this, people have argued with me over time online. But my argument is that you must learn to have a strong integration structure. I'll give you a very big example. The Emiratis invested big time in the UK football. You saw, Emirates, turn to Emirates Stadium, which is after the Emirates airline. You saw the Manchester City, which is owned by one of the crown prince of Abu Dhabi, the current, vice prime minister. And all of it, yet they maintain the staffers. They didn't go and take everybody from United Arab Emirates to begin to head all the leadership of those football clubs, right? The ownership, yes, is changed. The name is changed, and it becomes a tool for marketing the United Arab Emirates, but not necessarily now insisting that everybody. Nepotism is something that is deep down rooted in our blood, right? We complain when government do it, but we do it ourselves in our private business, in our private life. You go to some people's offices, it's only people from their town or their village or from their church, from their, the faith that is there. And one of the cultures we have maintained since we started the company is that culture of we're only focused on your skill. We don't care your race, we don't care your religion. As long as you can add value to the company, you're welcome. And that's what we're focused on. We don't care who you are, your background. What do you bring to the table is what matters.
All right. $1.6 million. That's no mean sum. How are you able to raise the capital? You had to launch this office.
Well, you see me.
Things are getting better. Stephen, things are getting better. You know where we're coming from, Wo? You know.
Well, so number one, Rufai, I've been hustling all this while. We're in an aggressive fundraising drive, and thank God we have a good name thank God people are trusting us and they're investing with us. Also, mind you, we have leverage here. So we didn't have to drop the entire 1.6 million. First of all, we had to do lease to own. Second of all we needed to drop is 30% of the money. And we got institutional investors for the remaining 70%. And that's part of, sometimes when we talk about Nigeria and why Nigeria needs to work, these are the things we're talking about, that we need to make it easy for businesses to grow, businesses to expand. The fact that I need to buy land in Nigeria, I have to pay 100% down. All this is affecting business. We must work with our financial institution to be able to come in and be part of growing the real estate sector. But yes, we're an aggressive investment drive. We thank God for a good name. We're aggressively raising money in the next 2 years for our US expansion. And thank God that because of how well we've done things in Nigeria, in Dubai, it's helped us. There are people who invested with us in Dubai we never met until the day they came to collect the key to their house. And some of them did over $1 million. And so with that kind of good name, where people know that they can trust us with their money and that, we are there. We're not running away. We're on ground and we're constantly available to explain issues to them, as a team. So it's not even a one-man business. It's a business with a solid team. I think that has been very, very helpful.
All right, thank you. That's great to see that you have some investors and you didn't have to put the full 100% of that $1.6 million down. So tell us about your properties in the US market. You speak so passionately about it. Can you give us a bit more detail as to what your offerings are?
Beautiful. So at the moment, we're on a $200 million expansion drive here in the US. We currently have a 99-acre land that we're selling, and people are free to start buying. Unfortunately, this particular one, they can only buy minimum 1 acre. And I've had people reach out, can't we just buy one plot? And we've said, you know what, because we're doing larger volume here, we just want to do 1 acre. And because this particular estate is for land banking, it's better you buy a larger portion. In future, you can decide to sell a portion of it and build on a portion of it. So we have that on the side. We also have, by the way, the office they showed you, one of the reasons why we bought the office, opposite it, and it's part of what we bought, is you will see some green space. Those green space is available for us to build office complex. So we're going to be building a 6-story office complex there called Gtext House. Of course, this is a project that will take another 4 to 5 years. So it's important to let people know permits alone here can take 18 to 2 years to even get the permit before you can start building. Also, we just got another place where we're building 28 units. But one of the strategies we had to use when we realized that permit takes time here is to now start buying properties that already have permits, right? So that, in space of 3 to 6 months, we can start building. And so we have one that by December, by the grace of God, we're going to start building 28, residential units. So we have residential, we have commercial, and then we have land banking, which is one of the things we've been known in Nigeria. Over 80% of our clientele in Nigeria are land bankers. There's only in Dubai that is strictly houses, residential houses. So what we've done is to be able to cover the three. We have investment in land, we have investment in residential, we have investment in commercial. Like even this office beside us is a neighbor, so we inherited a tenant. And so the rent will start going to us. We're also trying to turn the office to a hub where Nigerians who have businesses here but they don't have office space can start using our office space. So we receive their emails on their behalf. Our reception can pick calls on their behalf. That way they don't need to spend too much renting an office space. With a token of $100 a month, they can have a virtual space with us. So those are some of the things we're also looking at doing with the offices.
Well, I'd like you to speak more to how that Gtext office in Texas will be of benefit to the business at home here in Nigeria.
Well, I don't know whether you are aware that currently over 80% of our clientele are in diaspora. Many of our clients, even those who bought what we have in Nigeria, are either in UK, US, Canada, and all that. So those of them who are here in Nigeria, the good news that they can, here in the US, they can come to the US office to pick up their documents of investment they did with us in Nigeria. So that's one good thing. Also those of them who are investing with us here in the US are able to visit and ask questions about what we're doing with their funds and their investment. But more importantly is also we are having this added value, like I mentioned earlier, where we're working on a virtual office space, a desk space. So there's the option of virtual, where you don't come to the office, but we receive your emails and things like that on your behalf, and we'll relate it to you. We have the desk space where you have a desk, and you pay a token for that desk, and you come in and operate it like it's your office, and you use them like that. So those are the various offerings that we are giving with this new office expansion. But we're excited about it. We're also hoping to do a couple of smaller seminars. For example, we are hosting Dr. Cosmos for our biggest conference here in the US. And he should be arriving on the 18th. So on the 19th, he will also be coming to the office. I'm going to be having a little networking with people in the office before the conference itself on Saturday.
Okay. Some are saying the economy is slowing down in America at a time like this. GDP remains modest. With this position, are you convinced that the expansion time is now, and that's it? And secondly, I would like to, for the benefit of those that might be watching, that might be in America watching this now, because Arise is global, where's the address of the 99 acres, so that they can also, and can they also see inspection? Where is the 99 acres of land located? And, how do you try to convince the local investors to key into the U.S. dream, And probably, as we wrap up, you could just, tell us a little bit more about all of this address and everything, involved in this business plan.
Thank you very much. So the 99 acres is 000 House Road, Brookshire, Texas. We do regular inspection. The office is 518 West Green, Katy. So on Monday by 6 p.m., we decided to do 6 p.m. because we know some people want to close from work. You can come to the 518 West Green Boulevard, Katy, Texas. That's the office. And we're going to be doing like an office dedication event. And there you can then book an inspection to go see the Brookshire 99-acre land. So that someone can take you there and you can see it for yourself. We just still did an inspection a few weeks ago on the property. So we're always open. You come to the office, then we'll take you for inspection so that you're not the only one there. Why invest now in the US? Like I said earlier, as a smart investor, Warren Buffett has always shared this, you have to learn to go the opposite direction. Right? The masses are not always right. Right now, there is what we call high interest rates in the US. What it happens is that most people are not ready to buy. And what that does is that sellers are willing to sell at a more reduced price. So many of these properties we're buying, we're able to buy it way lesser than we should have gotten it. In fact, way lower than what they listed, because nobody's really coming as such. Now, the time we are projecting that, because they're going to start the rate cuts from November, we're projecting that by June next year, the interest rate will have really come down. And what happens? The bidding war starts again. Everybody wants to start buying. And at that point, we have already acquired and we can now start selling, and we're making good profit. And that's really how to do business.
Well, on that note, we would like to thank you very much, Dr. Stephen Akintayo, for joining us on the morning show today.